do the introduction to Aaron, all right?
All right, you got it.
Because you're a pro.
You're gonna.
Yo, Dom, over here. Hey, Dom, hey.
Yo, Dom.
Dom, Aaron Weber, how you guys doing?
Good.
Great, man. Thank you for having me. Dom, it's great to meet you, man.
Where's an opening?
We just
We
ran
just ran it.
Oh, no, never mind. Where's Aaron?
Aaron's here.
You got him on the screen
hello.
somewhere.
Just said hello.
He's got a good vibe to him. I don't have pants on.
Dude, it's cool to get to talk to you, man. I've been a fan for a long time, and I met Steve a few years ago. We've kind of kept in touch, so I'm glad this worked out, man. I appreciate you having me.
Did he get annoying?
Yeah.
A little too pushy.
I'm not that bad, Dom. Come on.
You're a little pushy when you say Aaron.
I'd say so. You kind of chalked it up as just being a Philadelphia guy, Steve. That's how you framed it all. You kept stressing that. You're like, I'm a Philly guy. This is just kind of my attitude. We were both we met at the Columbus Funny Bone. We were both auditioning to become a feature for those clubs. And that was actually the last show before COVID hit.
Like the day after it shut down.
Really?
Literally the day after, I think.
Yeah, I remember sitting at the bar, Steve, watching the news, and we were like, man, this might get kind of serious. And then there's just no shows anymore after that.
How'd you do on the audition?
He crushed. No, Aaron crushed.
Steve did well, too. Steve did really well.
I don't know.
Is Steve Droop? Is it Droop? Stoop?
Stroop is still there at the Funny Bones. We were auditioning for somebody else there who actually doesn't work at the clubs anymure. I've actually never met Stroop. I've been working those Funny Bones for a few years now, and I've just never crossed paths with him.
Yeah, I worked in Columbus. Ask me how I did.
How'd you do?
I don't want to talk about it, but it sounds like I'm bragging.
Yeah.
All right,
You don't want to come off to be braggy, Dom.
No.
Aaron, and then how long after that did you get New Faces JFL? How long after that?
That was the next year, 2021. So it was the only year that it was not in Montreal because of COVID. So everything was in LA at the Dynasty Typewriter, like a small venue. So everybody said this was like it was the weirdest year to get it because everything was off, but it was still very cool to do. That was the next summer, I believe.
I had dinner with Bruce Hills the other night. Bruce Hills is the guy who kind of runs it now. Mm-hmm. And that was fun. I love that town.
And you've been going to Montreal for a long time now, right, Dom?
Yeah, shit. 25, 34, so I don't know. Wow. When I was a kid, you'd watch Johnny Carson or something, and these guys, they were roommates in New York for 40 years. I'm thinking, nobody lives that long. And I'm older than that. It's not fun, really. It's sad. No matter what I do, I'll be dead in the next couple of years.
Oh, come on, man.
All right. Say a decade.
Yeah, just way to bring the show to a screeching halt. That's all right. Well, at least you got a couple good ones left, right?
I hope so. With friends like you.
Yeah.
You're going to JFL this year, right, Dom?
Yeah, doing something with rubber Peters.
Rubber Peters.
Yeah, I don't know. He's fucking amazing. Think about it. He has like all over. Everybody has like England or Italian. It's not that big a deal. He has like Cambodia. Right. He has abstract. The countries don't even exist. He's still booking them. It's amazing. He's a fucking incredible. I don't know how he does it. How the fuck? Why they? Have you seen him, you guys?
I've seen Russell Peters live. Yeah, he's great.
He's got great energy. Yeah, but I mean, like to get the millions of dollars he has, like humping for, that's bad. That's incredible. And that's all I have to say. I'm out of here. I'm fucking getting myself worked up for no reason.
Yeah, it's all right. Take it easy.
I don't know if he's Italian, white. What the fuck was it? What color is he?
Does he perform in multiple different languages?
No.
Oh, okay. What about you, Dom? Do you perform in different languages? Or?
South Philly, North Philly.
All the way out to the Conshohocken curve.
Are the different Philadelphia accents that distinct that you can tell which part of the city they're from?
I could do that in New York. I don't know,
Yeah.
Philly. I think I'm too close to English in Philly.
No, it's it's Delco. It's like the city Philly, Jersey.
Yeah, South Jersey has a distinct accent. Also, it's kind of like South. It's a South Philly accent, but the country version of it. That's what the South Jersey accent is.
Thank you.
I didn't hear any of these accents until I started doing comedy, because I grew up in Alabama. I moved to Tennessee when I was in high school, and then I went to college outside of the South. But my friends that were from the Northeast were, they were just different versions of me. They didn't have thick accents or anything. And I remember the first weekend I opened for Brett Ernst in Huntsville, Alabama.
I know Brent.
Yeah, super funny, but I had never heard an accent that thick. I thought he was faking it. I mean, you just never seen a guy talk like this or act like this. So comedy's kind of opened my eyes in that way. I've met people from all over.
Alabama or
Auburn.
Yeah, Auburn.
I'm a Notre Dame fan. I went to school there, but it is in Alabama. You do have to pick. You have to pick a side. It's taken very seriously. So I grew up an Alabama fan, and it's probably 60% of the state, I'd say, and then 40's Auburn.
Right.
And it's serious, dude. I've had family not talk to each other for years. Over a college football game, which seems ridiculous. But
that's how we are with Dallas fans.
Isn't that's so interesting? You guys have the same passion for professional sports,
right?
In a way that we just don't. We don't have any professional sports.
Yeah, and there's no real big college sports in the Northeast. Like the Big East basketball was big at one point, but football, the teams were never really good. Like Rutgers is never good at football. Syracuse, I mean, they haven't been good since like the 90s.
I don't know if I agree with you. Penn State.
I think above all the Eagles are the biggest team.
Yeah, but Penn State might as well be the Midwest compared to Philadelphia. Like Penn State's in a different country compared to Philadelphia. I've never been there. Not even close.
Yeah, I guess. What'd you say, Dom?
My friend McGettigan he put that guy. He was raped all the boys. Now they didn't know how to party.
Sandusky.
Yeah, Sandusky.
I forgot about that. Oh
Did you see the other scandal that was in the news last week from a Penn State professor?
No.
There's a state park near Penn State where they found out somebody was stealing hand sanitizer from the bathroom. So the state park was like, let's set up a sting operation. We're going to track down who's stealing this hand sanitizer. So they set up cameras everywhere. And then they reviewed the footage and they found a guy having sex with a dog.
Well, that dog must have been hot, huh?
What kind of breed do you think?
Wow.
They never said anything about the dog. There's no details about what kind of dog it is, but they found this guy would do this routinely. He would go to the state parks, kind of hide and have sex with his dog. And then they tracked his license plate and he was a Penn State professor, like a high-ranking professor at the university.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
They raided his house, and as soon as he realized why they were there, he was like, I was just doing it to blow off steam. That was his defense. Said just blow it off steam.
I can't be in a show like this. I'm better than this. All right, boys.
Gee, how long? This is like, it has to be new.
Yeah, last couple weeks.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I haven't heard the story. Yeah, June 15th is when it broke.
Okay, yeah, it's a good rabbit hole to go down.
I wonder if it was his pet.
It was his pet.
Oh,
yeah, it wasn't just a stray dog he picked up. I don't know if that would make it better or worse, but this was a dog that he loved and took care of.
Of course, he loves him. You don't do that to the dog you don't love.
That would definitely take on a different tone if he didn't like the dog.
It's bizarre he went to a public park also if it was his dog, and why not just at his house?
I think that was part of the adventure for him, right? Was to do it in a
for him or the dog.
All right, one more shot, and we're out of here. Now, where do you work out of? What city?
Nashville, Tennessee is where I live now. So Zanies Comedy Club is my home club, and I've been here since I started about 8 years ago.
And Zanies, that's been there for a long time? That club?
That's the anchor club, the original club in Chicago. The home ones has 110 seats, so everybody could fill the home.
Downtown
Chicago. The suburbs. What's the one in the suburbs?
That's Rosemont.
What's the one they call it? Something Hills, and the hills are about like an inch.
Oh, I don't know that one. There used to be a St. Charles Zanies.
What, in Missouri?
No, St. Charles outside of Chicago.
Oh, okay.
And that close. So now it's just Rosemont, Illinois, like an hour outside of Chicago, and then the one in Old Town. But the Nashville one this year is the 40th year that it's been open. So that's got to make it one of the oldest clubs in the country.
Yeah. I did Governors in Levittown last week, and it looked like a scene from the 50s.
Yeah,
red lights. The fans were going around. This thing, they haven't updated this, and it's got to be 40 years. And it's great. I thought it was awesome, like that old school feel, because that's how downtown Zanies is. I think. I mean, I haven't been there in like 7 years. You headlined there recently, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I try to get there once a year when they have me.
And the last time you were there someone told me the green room they updated, but the main
green room looks nice. The club still feels like the club. It's one of the last, at least the places I've been, it's one of the only places that feels like an old school club. It still looks like it's smoking is allowed in there, even though I know it's not, but just all the old headshots, and there's still a piano on stage. Wow. It's all that old school stuff that you just don't see anywhere. As nice as some of these improvs and funny bones are, they do feel very corporate compared to Zanies for sure.
Yeah, the funny, but I'm curious if the Funny Bones invented the music and the lights in the beginning of every show, like how it turns into this big
where the stage backdrop is just a huge jumbotron now.
Yeah,
and then you reach back there. I like reaching back and feeling a brick wall. And then you just reach back and it's just a TV screen. And then you're like, oh, this is all fake. None of this is real in here,
Yeah, the corporate clubs turned into whatchamacallit had that though recently. Vinny Brand, Stress Factory. I did his club in Connecticut. He had a similar setup.
That wasn't working really, huh?
What was that?
The one in Connecticut hasn't really done anything.
I was there with Brad Ernst. He drawed well.
Take it easy. Just
it's easy. Yeah.
No. It's an old bank. It's a very wide. It's a very wide room,
and it does feel like the only thing going on in that area.
Yeah.
It does feel like you walk up to it and you're like, am I in the right part of town? Yeah, Bridgeport.
Yeah.
When I was there in October, and somebody got shot and killed a block from the club the weekend we were there. Now I'm not knocking the club. I had a great time. I love Vinny. I just met Vinny a few months ago, and I saw y'all had him on the podcast recently.
He talked about you in the episode.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, he was saying how good you are and everything. He said all great things. Seriously.
Oh wow. Oh, that's
I know he's a ball breaker. I know he's a ball breaker, but he was speaking.
He called me ahead of time, and I knew nothing about Vinny. I'd only heard his name talked about, but I didn't know much about his personality. And he called me ahead of time, and he goes, "The guy you're bringing with you to open, like what does he talk about on stage?" And I said, "Oh, he has a lot of jokes about smoking weed and drugs and that kind of stuff." And he goes, "Oh, okay." So we get to the club that weekend, and he walks in, and he meets the two of us. And he sits down, and he goes, "Guys, I got to tell you, man, the comedy industry, these comics, golly, if I hear another comic talk about smoking weed on stage, I'm going to shoot up the place." He just went on this rant about drug comedians, and my opener's just sitting there going, "Oh, God, that's exactly what I'm about to talk about." But it was like funny. Right out of the gates. That's how he was hanging with us. So it was a fun week.
Yeah, he's doing like hidden camera pranks at his club now when he's doing the door. I don't know if you've seen them. Yeah, they're pretty funny.
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he tells people like you need a vaccine card to get in or something.
Yeah, you need a mask to get in, and it's only in the one section is masked. Yeah, he tells people stupid stuff at the door.
He broke my balls too, Brett. He was like he brought me up, and he was like what can I say anything before I bring you up? I was like, I'm a co-host for Dom Irrera's podcast, and he went, well, anybody that works with Dom can't play my club. He said, and him and Dom's his Facebook picture. It's him and Dom hugging. It's his actual Facebook picture.
That's funny.
Right now.
Really?
Yeah. You're his default picture. I don't know if they call it that anymore. I'm so old.
Default picture?
Yeah, that was like MySpace language right there. Yeah, I don't know. Profile picture.
There you go.
Yeah. But
so you went to Montreal?
He was in.
I didn't get to go to Montreal. That was the one year they didn't do it there.
Oh, okay.
So I'm
sorry.
hoping.
I apologize, guys. I just woke up.
Oh,
it's
no
like a typical me. I literally 5 minutes. That's why I have nothing to say yet. So can we start this over?
Run
is there a man here? Like
Yo, Dom, over here. Hey, Dom, hey.
Yo, Dom.
Seinfeld, just a pride. The guy says to me, he goes, Dom, we need a little more Dom in this. I didn't know what the fuck that meant. Like, is this me or is this?
I actually, Dom, I was watching. I was watching that Seinfeld episode last night. Your episode.
The fire. Well, actually, everybody really was funny except for me, because I was supposed to be a prod comic.
Prop comic, yeah.
And but some of the stuff was really great on there. How could you not know Bozo? The guy was dressed up as a clown.
Big nose.
It was called The Fire, where Jason Alexander knocks over old ladies and stuff to get out because he smelled smoke.
Yep.
My wife, my ex-wife, was the ugly baby routine. You remember that one?
Mom, right?
Jerry, get the baby. Yeah,
you gotta see the baby.
Yeah, that's it. She was.
Did she have a voice? Like, did she have that kind of voice? Or is that played up a lot?
Oh, totally. Yeah, she used to do it around the house. I just do something with this fucking thing. It's driving me crazy. And she got 5 episodes. It's great.
Was she a stand-up, Dom?
No, improv. We all met in improv. And you ever do improv, Aaron?
No, I was about to ask you what did you do improv when you started, or were stand-ups and improvs kind of in the same circle?
I started with children's theater improv, kind of like getting kids to do something in the summertime and all that, and with an easy way to get a SAG card, equity card for theater. Mm-hmm. So that's why I did it, and they pay pretty well, But it's funny because people never expect me to be doing some
kids program.
What's that?
Some summer camp kids program.
Yeah. But people, I think we like that Italian guy. I said, well, I'm not Italian like that every day. You must be one of those guineas. I don't even know what that means. Where did that come from, Guinea?
I'm not sure. Ginzo is a good one too. I like when it's Ginzo. It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's one you don't hear.
What nationality are you, Aaron? What nationality are you?
I just white. I feel like I don't know. I don't.
That's not a big white. There's no big white cam that we know of.
I was just talking with my family about this. I kind of have no understanding of where my mom's family, they came from Yugoslavia. And that was my grandfather was first generation immigrant from Yugoslavia. My dad's family, who knows? They just feel like pretty just standard. I don't know, probably some German, probably some English. We don't talk too much about it. Not as a matter of principle. It's just never really come up. People say I'm Irish. I don't know. I don't know what I am. I'm from Alabama.
I think that's what happens when you're further and further removed. Like the time period's longer and longer,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
and
been in the U.S. for a while, you know, your family.
Right. We're American.
Yeah.
The Italians down the Italians down there, they don't talk like us three.
They don't even have them, bro. Yeah, they don't even have them, dude.
You're the first Italian I've ever met, Steve.
Joe Paterno.
Is he from the South? He's not from the South, is he?
No. I don't know where the fuck I got that. Please, somebody wake me up.
Henry, what's the comic's name that's from down there? Henry Cho?
Yeah, do you know Henry Cho, Dom?
Yeah, I think so. He's at the Comedy Store, right?
He was an LA guy years and years ago, but now he lives out in Tennessee. He was one of the first guys to kind of take me out on the road.
Okay.
But he's been doing it since the late 80s.
I'm sure I know him.
Yeah, Korean guy, thick Southern accent.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so he was the first guy to kind of take me places all over the South. But he's from Knoxville, but he lives here in Tennessee now.
Let's talk about new faces, JFL again.
Okay.
Aaron, are you going up this year?
No, I wish. Yeah. I wish. I'd like to come back at some point. I've never been to Montreal, so that would be a lot of fun. Hopefully, a few years they bring me back.
So your new faces was in LA.
Right.
Was the audition process digital, or did you have to do the traditional?
No, it was in person. I auditioned at the Stand in New York.
Stand in New York.
Right. Yeah, and it was actually the day after I got married.
Damn. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, that was so the day after I got married, we flew to New York, did that audition, then flew out and went on my honeymoon right after that. So I squeezed that in.
Sick.
Yeah, so pretty cool that it worked out. But I thought at the time there were so many like good comics on that showcase, comics that had some name recognition, at least to me, that I was like, this is kind of a wasted trip. I wish I'd have just stayed at home. You know, I got married yesterday, and here I am by myself in New York City. Right. A city which terrifies me. I'm still not used to New York. I can't do it there,
me neither. I lived there, and I hated it.
What's scary? What's scary about it? What do you mean?
Too much
space.
It's too intense. I can't stand like this guy. He's got him in the front. He says, "Man, I love it. You know, you're banging into people on Fifth Avenue." That's exactly what I don't want. I don't want to be fucking banging into people. You know,
I like it, man. Yeah.
The first time I was in New York, I had just a cheap hotel room, and I walked in and I just started laughing at how small it was. I mean, I've never seen a room that small.
Oh yeah.
Before, and then they're like, "This is actually like this is on the nicer end of hotels." I was like, "I can't."
This is a big room.
Yeah, and then and I'm not used to. I mean, I'm not a country boy by any stretch of the imagination, but
he sounds a little bit country to us, though. Yeah. No, but your accent, you know, I would think you were like, you know, country kind of. Not that you're a farmer, but
right. But you can tell I'm from the South.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can tell y'all are not.
Yeah.
But I guess I've always had room. I've at least had room to like yell or like wave my arm. I don't know. I've never felt claustrophobic before in a city. And then, you know, I'm sure I'd get used to it if I were there for a while, but just visiting for a few days, God, I felt out of place.
Yeah. And Manhattan's nuts, you know, especially if you were in lower Manhattan. It's nuts down there.
Yeah, I was near Chinatown.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy down there.
You didn't feel that way about Philly, did you?
I didn't stay in Philly too long, unfortunately.
Good.
I actually, when I did the Bridgeport Stress Factory, I flew into Philadelphia, I think. Yeah. No. When I did the New Jersey Stress Factory, I flew into Philadelphia and then just drove to and from there, and I spent a day in Philly. I did I went to the Liberty Bell. I did all that. But I've never actually spent any time there.
Did you get a cheesesteak?
No, I didn't. I'm fasting.
Oh wow, you're still doing that? Are you still doing that?
Nah, bro, he got like 3 cheesesteaks.
Are you really fasting?
No, he dropped mad weight, dude.
I did. I lost about 80 pounds.
Oh shit!
God bless you,
Steve. Because when I did that show with you in Columbus, I was probably 330, 340, and I'm down to about 265, 260 now. So I've kind of plateaued because I've stopped taking the fasting seriously. But for a while there, I was only eating for 4 hours a day, and then 20 hours just pounding water, drinking coffee, and it worked. But it's not really a good way to live,
bro. That's got.
I do that 7 days a week.
That's got to be tough when like you're on the road, and like one of the perks of working at comedy clubs, they give you food and drink. Like you didn't do no booze.
Yeah, I probably still haven't drank. I've had maybe a beer here and there, but I haven't really drank in years, man.
God
I don't know why. I saw you get to a point where you start to be able to just drink for free at the clubs. And I saw some guys.
You got to duke them, though. You always got to duke them.
What does duke mean?
I don't know. Just say it.
Tip them.
It's like they tip somebody.
Yeah, tip them.
Duke them is incredible. I've never heard that.
No.
Yeah. I'm one of the bigger dukers, I think I love duking, but and I'll duke even if I don't get anything from a server.
It always helps to tip people.
Right. But I saw guys just kind of take advantage of the free drinks and it start to interfere with their careers and their lives and stuff. And I just said, I'm going to have a beer every now and then with a buddy, like I did with Steve in Columbus. We just sat at the bar and have a beer, but I can't be one of these guys doing shots before they go on stage.
No,
I've just never been that kind of guy,
You did a couple shows with Bert Kreischer. I heard he's a big partier. Did you drink? Did you drink on that tour?
I did. I thought when in Rome. I feel like this is the week.
He's so much fun, though.
He is, man. He is a lot of fun, and he is exactly who he presents. It's very authentic to who he is. But it was nonstop. It was wild.
How'd that happen?
I don't really know. I just got kind of added last minute to that first run of the fully loaded shows he did. So we did, it was one arena show and the rest were at minor league baseball parks. And so I was on the show and I was, I went up first and it was just, I was just happy to be there. The rest of the lineup, it was like Dave Attell was on it. It was Big J. It was Taylor Tomlinson did some of the shows. Shane Gillis. It was crazy. But Bert, dude, it's sun up to sundown and then some. We did yoga, but like we're drinking while we're doing yoga. That kind of stuff. He does
smoking cigarettes and lifting weights.
Yes. Yeah, cigarette in the ice plunge, like the polar plunge or whatever. He does take care of himself in a pretty impressive way. He was the first awake every day, and he'd run and he'd exercise, and he wouldn't really eat that poorly, but then you can get after it with the booze.
Wow.
Interesting. When I started, they used to have on the menus, they would have regular food and the food that we could eat. Anything bad for you, that's what they gave the comedy.
Oh, there was like just a special comedy. There's a club around here that does that. It's like French fries, chicken tenders,
and
a
they
burger.
give you the cheap stuff.
It's like the comedy menu.
Just stuff they drop in a fryer.
Yeah. Stuff they drop in a fryer.
And the burger they give you, it's not the actual burger on the menu. It's like this big. It's like
a frozen burger.
Slider.
That's funny.
Sorry, Dom. I didn't mean to cut you off, bud.
No, go ahead.
So you got the fully loaded. Did anything good come out of the JFL, the new faces? Because I seen you started headlining like right after that, right? It kind of snowballed.
Well, I ended up getting an agent from that.
Oh, awesome.
Who was it?
I'm with WME.
Oh no, seriously? I don't know. I probably know, but don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just say that about anybody. I didn't really know what I took a bunch of general meetings that led nowhere, but it was all over Zoom. So I did a lot of these kind of Zoom calls to like, I don't know, True TV, and nothing came of it. And they said, we just want to get to know you. And then they got to know me and they were like, all That's enough. That's what it felt like.
Montreal was so hot. I was so lucky to be there at the right time because every year I would get like at least one TV show for the summer. You know, it was incredible. I mean, now the secretary comes before the actual president of the network would come there.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's so much easier.
But it seems like there's still opportunity if you get on New Faces. I mean, Aaron got
definitely.
He got a representation out of it, you know. But you're saying years ago you would get TV.
Well, there was no internet. Without the internet, the communication, people just came there and watched the shows, and you develop relationships with them, you know.
So it wouldn't be unheard of to go to JFL and walk out of there with a sitcom.
No, that was the normal thing. There were at least a couple people did that every year.
Wow.
Brett Butler or whoever it was, you know, Roseanne was up there.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't feel like that's going on anymore.
Did you feel any kind of pressure going into that set?
Some of them, yeah. But I had so much fun. You know, we get acts from all over the world. What's his name? Bob something. He's an actor. Anyway, these guys did a thing where they would take their clothes off to these different songs. They're fucking stupid. So everybody's clapping, and so I thought, what the fuck am I gonna do? I'm gonna go out with nothing on, you know. So I just put a sneaker over my dick and walked out, and I didn't even like indicate anything, but I just brought the next guy up. Years later, I'm at the Comedy Store in London, and he goes, "Hey Dom, I was the political satirist that you brought up after you got." And I said, "Oh fuck, I'm sorry, man. I was swimming for my health, you know." But it was crazy, and the waitresses were so fucking beautiful, and it was. I used to like to have intercourse with them, and then we get to.
That's nice of you, Dom. That's real. That's
thank
nice.
you.
Yeah.
The girl that I ended up living at, she's so fucking beautiful. I still see her sometimes. She was so feisty. They gave her like change for a tip. She goes, "Here's your fucking tip," and she like hit the back of the guy's head. It's like look at it. It was like a little big fight happened over that. But that's a great city. You know, I hope you get it. I hope you get it the next time.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'd love to go up there.
Yeah, but it's like kind of the mecca for comedy, you know. But I like the Edinburgh one. Any of you guys ever been to that one?
No.
Edinburgh. That's
Scotland, yeah.
Yeah.
Really big. Doesn't JFL now? It's like kind of everywhere. They do one in Texas, don't they?
Yeah.
Moon Tower.
They bought Moon Tower. That's now like a JFL festival. Yeah.
But it wasn't originally. That's what you're saying.
The Austin one.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you done? Is it called Fringe Fest? Right, Tom?
I don't know.
In Edinburgh.
Probably. I don't know. The coolest thing was I won this award, and I don't know what it was, you know. But I said, "Well, that's cool to beat all those comedians, you know, come in first." And he said, "You didn't just beat comedians; you beat everybody. Like whoever won this, I was like, you know, ballet dancers and." All kinds of crazy shit, and then hey, how you doing? You know, and then those countries are so fun. That I was working in Glasgow. This woman goes to me. She goes, "Yeah, you know." He says, starts speaking like Spanish. She was Scotland, you know. She goes, "I said, what is it? I don't understand." She goes, "Apparently, we have a language barrier." I said, "Apparently, we do." You know, they don't even understand each other.
Yeah.
Now, do you find, is there a little, because I had my first weekend coming up in Canada, in Edmonton, in November.
You'll love it. It's great. Yeah.
I've never really done a lot of stand up in Canada. Part of me is like paranoid. I got like going through my act, like what are they going to get? But I feel like they'll probably get everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
They call
Don't contour it to them that you think it. Just do what you think it's funny.
Okay. So don't call a bathroom a water closet, that kind of stuff.
No, you could do that.
That's kind of funny.
This is how dumb I am. I legit thought, are they going to know what I mean when I say bathroom?
Oh yeah,
And they're like, yeah, dude, they're probably smarter than you up there. So,
Yeah.
okay.
And
Well, you know, we
Edmonton
give it an
is like
advantage.
it's like the Texas of Canada. It's like all oil and like country boys.
Calgary and
yeah, Calgary and Edmonton. It's like Western Canada.
Oh, Alberta's more rural.
Yeah, Alberta. That's what I meant. Yeah, Alberta's more rural. It's like the Texas of Canada.
Oh, okay.
That's what they call it up there. The Texas of Canada.
Okay. Oh yeah, I feel better about it now.
Yeah,
I like
Texas. You'll do great. I've been to that club.
Oh, cool.
What's the name of it?
It's Rick Bronson's The Comic Strip.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And I think it's in the mall.
It's in the mall. Yeah, that's
I never went outside when I worked there.
Really?
You feel like you're outside, and it's just one big. You can't find the end of this. Roller skirts and.
I thought comedy clubs and malls was more of a past 15 years type of thing. This has been going on forever. Like comedy club, yeah. I thought that was more of a recent thing. Because I mean, every Funny Bone right now is either in a shopping mall or a mall. I feel like
it's because the real estate's cheap, Because all the stores.
I thought it was great because the favorite radio station was right in the mall, so you can wake up and go in 2 minutes.
Cool.
You would stay at the mall too, Dom? At the hotel there? Yeah.
I never went out really.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing really outside of the mall anyway.
Do you feel like that's dying out? Our morning radio now, the podcast boom, or that's still a thing?
Yeah, it's got to be hurting it.
I've only had to do 3 or 4, and that's in a year of headlining clubs, and that feels like not a lot compared to what I've heard comics talk about, where it's like every weekend you're out there doing. Now I'm not selling any tickets, so maybe I should be doing more of that.
Yeah, I mean, morning radio for ticket sales would be way better than doing a podcast. I mean, if you haven't sold tickets, people driving that morning, day of, like, there's no better way to reach people like right before than local, local morning radio like that. Yeah.
Did you find that helped a lot, Dom? Like when you would do local radio?
Oh, yeah, that's the only way they know you're there. Because it's like a Sunday paper. We'll have next week we have this guy, but people don't read that. It's like if it is a big deal in that town, like in Ireland, everybody forgets. There's only one. The main station is one across the whole board. So everybody. I remember I lost my notebook, and this guy. Dom Irrera, find your notebook. It's like, fuck. It's a small town.
Every comic's worst nightmare if you leave your joke book behind.
And that's why I don't write jokes. I'm starting to wake up, boys.
Yeah.
Give it another half hour, and I'll try to be funny again.
What do you got? What do you got coming up, You want to plug any dates?
I got August through the end of the year is the first time like I'm headlining every weekend at different clubs.
Congratulations,
so
man.
Thank you, man. It's pretty exciting. A lot of places markets I've never been to. Like Denver is where I start off, and then I've got like a fun weekend with Pittsburgh, Boston, up y'all's way a little bit.
Nice.
And I've never really done any comedy up there outside of like New York. So
you know what? Enjoy it too. Enjoy the whole thing. Some guys are so fucking bitter from the start,
right?
And then they wonder why nobody wants to be around them. Nobody wants to, we're lucky to be doing this. Let's face it. I can't do anything else. I don't know about you, but if I have this against nothing. I can't fix anything. I like teaching school because the kids are hot. But, this thing on. I did I love those kids.
Sure you did. Did you teach
not
at
on
Penn
lips?
State?
Not on lips. You're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's definitely not lost on me. I mean, it's crazy. When I started, I was like, all I want to do is not do my day job. Mm-hmm. That was the goal when I started, and I've been lucky enough. It's been that way for a few years now. So everything's still just gravy at this point.
I want a job that you don't have to work for.
Right.
You still working? Are you still working completely clean?
Yeah, I guess so.
Wow.
I don't like to talk about because it definitely carries a connotation of bad. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I get a lot of people who are at the shows and they're like, when they said you were clean, I was like, ugh, God. But yeah, I've just always kind of been that way since I started.
So
Brian Reagan.
Sorry,
Brian Reagan's a good comic. You know Brian Reagan?
Yeah, he was the first show I ever saw was when I was in college. He came to South Bend, Indiana, and I went and saw him live.
He's so fucking funny.
So good, dude.
He's great.
And I got to meet him recently, and he's like a very fun guy, very nice. I got to talk to him about comedy a little bit. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
a bunch of really good comedians came out of West Palm, and who's the labor guy? The labor.
Tim Allen.
No,
Larry the Cable Guy.
Larry the Cable Guy. I forget his real name.
Dan Whitney.
Dan Whitney, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's so fucking funny. I would have been such a bad manager because I said to Dan, you got to drop this character. It's pulling you down, man. I know comedy. Then 2 years later, he's like a billionaire.
Yeah. Now, I heard, Dom, tell me if this is true. I heard he used to book back-to-back weekends at clubs. The first weekend as Dan Whitney, the second weekend as Larry the Cable Guy.
Really?
We worked together a lot, but he was always just himself. But this is after that. He changed. He started a radio thing with that, and it got really popular in the South.
Was it the same trajectory as like Dice with that character? Like where did Dice start out as a character like on radio or something, or how did that?
No. He started out as an impressionist.
Okay.
And John Travolta and all this stuff, and then it just kind of we did a Rodney Dangerfield special
right
on HBO, and he did the Dice was the whole thing, but it was only 7 minutes.
Right.
But he got really hot from that.
But at some point, that just becomes your whole act.
Oh yeah.
That's so interesting.
Well, he was a Jewish kid from New York,
right?
And he had nothing. He spoke nothing like that. He's an actor, you know.
Yeah. Comic actor.
I wonder if Tim Allen was that always his thing with the tool belt.
I don't know. I didn't know him. You know, he was
that was just the show, though. He didn't do that on stage.
No, it was part of his stand-up.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that.
You got a show out of it.
Like the grunting and everything. I think he did all that. All that. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. I bet he killed back in the day.
Do you remember working with him, Dom?
Yeah. He'd blow an 8-ball and then go out on stage. Just murder it.
I murdered it. I worked with him a little bit. I know you did, Dom. I said, all right, I killed him, but he made me do it. He was, he went to jail and all.
Right.
Tim Allen. You ever hear that? That's so wild. This all-American guy. What was it? I think it was just in for pot. Something, or maybe it was selling coke.
Yeah, I think it was a DUI and coke.
Well, you might as well knock them both out at the same time. Right?
Yeah.
Dom, was Bob Saget a good stand-up back in the day?
Oh, he was really, really dirty. And then he did that the kids show. I was there the day he got that. Him and Fourier, something.
Coulier.
Yeah, Dave Coulier.
Yeah. They the two of them were so dirty, and then they go out and do this clean, such a clean show. But Bob would be talking about, I got cum all over my chest, and this is what he said. And hey, welcome to Full House, everybody.
America's Dad.
Yeah, he didn't want that.
I didn't know Dave Coulier was a dirty comic because in the show he's like a squeaky clean stand-up comic.
With the
you have to be.
Yeah, the cut it out, all that, and all jokes about Popeye and stuff. Yeah,
and he had the Woodchuck, Mr. Woodchuck.
The Woodchuck, yeah, Mr. Woodchuck, yeah.
Don't forget, Bob Saget had a show on. Besides that, he had 2 in the top 10 for a while.
America's Funniest Home Videos. Yeah.
And that was a huge show, right?
That was massive.
Oh yeah,
I remember
number
that
one.
Yeah, watching that forever.
Wow. Now, Dom, because I always hear about were ventriloquists like super common years ago. I feel like there used to be a lot more of them. Like now, I just know of like one or two. But was that a more common thing at one point?
Oh, yes, probably. That guy
Jeff Dunham.
Yeah, he was there. I was up against him, and we were like laughing about it. Just fucking take him, will you? Because we didn't want him. He was such an asshole.
Really?
Yeah. He came up to us at the table. What's his name? I'm sorry, I don't remember any fucking names today. Tim, not Tim. Really cool kid from Texas with a cigarette thing and all. And he died. This story has a terrible ending. But is there a guy you could think of that like influenced the South comedy in the Texas?
Texas.
Did you ever see
outside of like the blue collar guys?
Well,
Stanhope?
No, he's funny. Yeah. You know who I like? Mitch Hedberg.
Hedberg, yeah.
You know him?
Oh yeah,
He was really talented. I mean, I liked him. With these stupid jokes, he was so clever. I got him. I had a show I had on Showtime, and I begged to have this guy, and he did great. Another heroin addict.
Yeah. He's a guy who still, if you go to an open mic in any city in America, he's a guy you can still see people trying to do some version of him, you know, with the absurdist one-liners. Like it's still people still do that to him.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, like you see how in this area, like for us, the Northeast, you would think like Dom Irrera, Dice, like who were the big comedy stars that came out of your neck of the woods? Like you
growing up, it was the blue collar comedy guys. So it was Jeff Foxworthy, Larry the Cable Guy, Bill Engvall, and Ron White.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say now it's Nate Bargatze probably as kind of the guy here in the South. I'm sure I'm missing some, but those jump out as do
these guys like still play your area pretty regularly?
Well, Ron White's in Austin now, and I think he goes up at Joe Rogan's club occasionally. But he would when I first started, Ron White just walked in some terrible bar show in Nashville and did time. So he would just show up.
Yeah.
Show up every now and then.
Two sheets to the wind.
Yeah.
I don't think Dom remembers this, but when I first started, he showed up at Helium's open mic on a Tuesday. Dom, do you remember doing that? You would play the whole week during Thanksgiving, and then on Tuesday night, you would show up at the open mic. There would be like 6 people in the audience.
That was probably just a happenstance that I didn't do that regularly.
Oh, okay. But I remember you popped in once. That was like, oh my God, Dom Irrera just popped up.
Yeah.
But that you saying Ron White would pop up at bar shows?
Very infrequently, but he would be around. You know, actually, now that I think about it, the guy that was around a lot was Ralphie May.
Oh yeah.
Because he ended up living in Nashville, so he would show up at the club, and I remember very early on, he like pulled me aside and like talked to me about my set and stuff. That was very cool to have.
Ask him if you had anything to eat. You gonna finish your potatoes? Well, that was a joke. That was the Elvis joke. Remember that?
No.
Elvis is, as he was getting fatter at the end of his career, come on stage. Excuse me, man. Are you gonna finish your potatoes? That was the punchline. It's clean. It's clean. How much I'm trying to think of fucking space. It was really a good stand-up. He have a leather jacket, the collar up, and the Sam Kennison days.
Bill Hicks.
What's that? Yeah, Bill Hicks.
Yeah.
Is that who you're thinking of? Yeah. Oh, Hicks.
Yeah. He was good.
He was a Texas guy as well, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had
Good.
I'm sorry. I was going to ask about Nashville. Now you can get up 2-3 times the scene's built. You don't got to leave, right? You don't got to go to LA or New York right now.
Well, I don't know. I feel like it's pretty good, but then you hear about New York comedians talk about the amount of times they get up on stage.
There'll never be anything like New York City.
That's true.
They'll never. It's the geography of the city. There'll never be anything like it as far as a scene because of just how much space there is in New York. Right. How walkable and tight it is. Like there, you can do 6 spots.
Yeah.
If you started at like 6 in the afternoon, you know?
Yeah. The most I've been able to do in Nashville is 3, you know, because you drive to and from places. So
how long are the spots though? Too, you know, they're probably a lot longer. You think?
Yeah. 10 minutes.
Are you doing a lot of like weekly or monthly shows at your home club?
So they just started doing it's called New Material Monday at Zanies. And that's almost every Monday. And it's just a big showcase where they let, you know, all the working comics kind of go up and do whatever. And big names will pop in on that all the time. So that's really fun. And then there's good local shows throughout the week. So if I'm working Thursday, if I leave on Thursday, I can get up 6 times, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, which isn't a lot, but it's you know, it's better than a lot of cities of the same size, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Are you still working with Dusty? You were doing a lot of work with him last time I talked to you. Are you guys still working together a lot?
I haven't opened for him. You know, he's kind of he's about to do a theater tour coming up in the fall. Like he had that Netflix special. He's starting to sell some tickets. So I haven't opened for him in a while. We do the podcast together every Monday, but I haven't worked with him on the road in a long time.
You know him, Dom? Dusty Slay?
I don't think so.
No.
Is he a Southern comedian?
Very Southern. Yeah, grew up in a trailer park in Alabama. And now he lives in Nashville, and he's a buddy of mine. He's just now starting to kind of pick up some steam and sell some tickets. So
there's so many more tickets and so many more comedians now than when I started. And plus it's a different world. Somebody said, who do you think's better? Like today's comics are the ones that, you know, I said, I think today's comics are better because they learned from the guys before him and you know, purified a lot of stuff. And it makes sense to me, you know. I mean, there's so many like guys that Dave Appel. Let's Dave
Chappelle.
No, not Dave. He's fucking great too. Yeah, what's that joke he has? I have a fear of travel because my parents used to beat me with a globe.
Yes. Is that Dave Attell?
That's on, Skanks for the Memories. That's like one of my favorite CDs. My wife and I listen to it in the car all the time. That specific track is called Travel, and I know that track front to back.
So you work clean, but you're a fan of dirty comedy.
Yeah, I'm a normal guy, man.
Okay.
You know, I like.
Well, how did the whole? No, I'm just.
Yeah.
Now that
it's not a crazy question. Yeah.
Well, now that you're headlining clubs, like when you have an opener or whatever, do you mind whatever they do in front of you? Like, is that something that you got to think about now? The fact that you work totally.
I'm in kind of a weird spot because, like, some people are there to see me, but most of these clubs, it's just the room's papered, right? So I could probably get away with whatever, but the few people that are there to see me, they know me through Nate Bargatze or somebody like that. They know me through a clean comic. So I tell them, I have a guy I bring with me who I trust, but like if it's somebody else, I go, just try to stay clean, as clean as you can. Like I feel like kind of lame asking that, you know? So, and I have no leverage. I'm not a big name or by any means. So I ask, and then 99% of the time it's not quite as clean as I'd like them to be. And that's all fine, you know.
Dom, did you ever give rules to your openers?
No.
No, you never did?
I asked Felicia Michaels once. She was doing a bit about her vagina shooting some kind of liquid out of it, right? Or some. I said, could you just move it? instead of closing with it. Even if you're going to say it, that's all right. But you
Just
can't
don't
move it
close
to the
with it.
middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she couldn't do it. She wouldn't do it.
Wow.
What do I do? Punch her? You know.
Yes,
Hey,
actually, yes, Dom. Did you hit her?
I beat the shit out of her. Whatever that means.
Was there like a crazy act out involved in that bit, Dom?
Now at the Comedy Store, and now at the Laugh Factory, they bring up the good-looking, vulgar girl at the beginning. The other night I went up there. The whole bit was about blowing a dog, right? And I just said to her, you know, that was my big bit. And he ruined it for me. You know, what am I going to follow? So I went with it and just got it. But I mean, it's ridiculously dirty. You know.
Was it funny at all, or?
I didn't think it was funny, but you know, I couldn't relate to it. I never blew any dogs. You know. I'm sure for people. It's really bad.
That chemistry teacher would find it really funny.
Yeah.
Thanks again for doing the show, man.
Dude, thank y'all so much for having me. Dom, it was great to meet you, man. Thanks for letting me be a part of this. I appreciate it.
Come back when I'm awake, all right? I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Y'all enjoy the whole thing.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Got any pictures of your wife we could see just to feel closer to you?
Not on me, no.
Yo, Dom, over here. Hey, Dom, hey.
Yo, Dom.